When you see me for the first time,
What goes through your mind?
is it the color of my skin? I'll take you on a spin. When you realize the surprise of who I am on the inside, your assumptions and predictions, conclusions and convictions will be snuffed out by my light. Cause my power and my strength, my beauty and my grace will always and forever shine bright. They'll always shine bright. They'll always shine bright.
Face value. The value printed or depicted on a coin, banknote, postage stamp, ticket, etc., especially when less than the actual or intrinsic value.
The superficial appearance or implication of something.
For example, she felt the lie was unconvincing, but he seemed to take it at face value.
Taking something at face value means to not look any deeper into what is being said.
Less than the actual value. The regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something.
Superficial, appearing to be true or real only until examined more closely.
Implication, the conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not explicitly stated.
Face value.
My face has value, yet it's only taken at face value.
Don't I deserve more?
Don't I deserve more?
Don't I deserve more?
This year has not only made us and others more aware of our faces, but has made us dig down deeper and realize our worth, our value. The pandemic hit, and we were instantly given a whirlwind of emotions, questions, fear, and overall wonder of what would happen next.
We were bored in the house and in the house bored, to be left with nothing but those we live with, technology, and our thoughts. By being away from the outside world, we have so much more time to navigate our inside selves and how others see us.
From every side of the spectrum of the human heart, soul, and face, we saw togetherness, hope, and love. Unfortunately, we also saw separation, fear, and hate.
From the protests demanding to open up the state, to the Black Lives Matter protests evolving from the gruesome death of George Floyd, to the riots that evolved from it all, we were left to be judged by nothing other than how others saw us, saw our face, our skin color.
Now, this isn't anything new. This isn't something that just happened overnight. This has been around longer than all of us have been alive. However, the pandemic intensified much of what's been hiding underneath the surface.
It is time to make a change. Matter of fact, it's been time to make a change. Maybe once we hear each other's stories, we can learn how to not only sympathize with each other, but empathize with love and the pain.
These stories are real. These stories are defining moments of people's lives that were not taken for what was inside their heart, but what was seen at face value.
Every kid looks forward to that one day a year where it's all about them. You get to be the king or the queen for the day. You get showered with love and gifts, and even if it's just for 24 hours, you feel that for those 24 hours, nothing can stand in your way because, sweetheart, today is your day. Well, for the first 14 years of my life, from everything I can remember, that was true. For the first 14 years, I usually had the same kids, the same friends group, the same backyard birthday. But come on now, that 15th birthday is something special. A new school, high school, and new friends. I actually fit into high school really well. I loved everything about it, from the school spirit to the opportunities to make new friends. Little did I know that making new friends ended up exposing the racial biases that I've been really blind to. Before high school, I went to a suburban private school where every kid was the same color as me. My high school was the complete opposite. But I loved it. I loved this newfound diversity in my life. For my 15th birthday, I wanted to do something different. I told my parents that I wanted to get a room at a hotel and then have some of my friends, old and new, spend the night at the hotel. Have a pool party, the whole 9 yards. Now, I need to make something clear. My new friend group was one of the most diverse friend groups you would ever see. Black, Hispanic, Asian, white, everything. It was like a melting pot of everything good in this world. We were and are beautiful. Unfortunately, not everyone saw it that way. The party started out great. We were having an absolute blast. We had our Bluetooth speaker playing our music. We were dancing. We were doing cannonballs in the pool. Everything was perfect. That was until...
Excuse me! Excuse me!
This woman walks up to our group with her arms folded and her face stuck in the most angry position ever.
Where are your parents? Shouldn't there be adults here? You are all being way too loud.
One of my friends, who happens to be Black, walks up to the woman and apologizes.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's my friend's birthday, and we were just...
I don't care what it is. If you all want to act like a bunch of monkeys, why don't you take this party back to the ghetto?
The ghetto. The ghetto. We were all in awe. No one retaliated back. I wish we would have, but for some reason, we just stopped. My friend walked away from the woman. I could tell there were tears in her eyes, but she just walked away. The woman proceeded to stand there while we all grabbed our towels and left the pool. And she just scowled at us, like she was the owner of that pool or something. We all went back to the hotel room and just talked. We talked about why we didn't say something back to that woman. We talked about experiences like this that have happened to all of us. We sympathized and empathized with each other. That was my first time experiencing real hate from a grown woman. I thought they were only seen in YouTube videos, but they are real. I can guarantee that the next time I am in a situation like this, I will not be silent.
It was a typical day of school. Same schedule, same everything. Do announcements, check in at the office, and get ready for the work to pile in. As the school day had ended, I'm tired and exhausted, but I couldn't go home just yet. I was into a lot of activities at school. Step, dance, drama club, school spirit squad, etc. But on this one particular school day, I had step practice. Me and my friend usually go to the auditorium to wait until practice starts, but on this day, we chose to wait in the office. Mind you, it's around 2:50 and practice doesn't start until 3:30. As we're waiting in the office, there are two little girls that come in. They look like they're about 6 or 7 at the most. They're playing with their toys and, before I forget, one is Black and one is Muslim. So the Black girl pulls out an art kit. It had to be like $25 to $30 at the most.
Ooh, can I see?
No, you can't see my stuff. Go buy your own.
Can't. I don't have any money.
Then tell your mom to go buy it for you. Oh, wait. She can't buy it for you because she don't got no money either.
So the little girl started crying, and we saw her crying and asked, "What's wrong?" She wouldn't answer, so we told the other little girl, "You need to say sorry. What you did was wrong." Both girls react to everything being said, and the mom of the Muslim girl walks in and she sees her daughter crying.
What's wrong?
But the daughter wasn't answering, so we had to tell her what happened. And this part touched my heart. She says to her daughter while the other little girl was still in the room thinking about what she did.
Listen to me. You are beautiful, you're special, you are strong. Now repeat it.
I'm beautiful, I'm special, and I'm strong.
One more time.
I'm beautiful, I'm special, and I'm strong.
You should have seen the look on the face of the other girl. Even though they were both so young, you know something changed within them that day. You never know the entire story of someone's life, especially when you are only looking at the cover. Sometimes it can come from someone who looks just like you, and they just don't realize that they are actually looking into a mirror because the glass is too blurry for them to see the reflection. Not only are we judged at face value by others, we also have to teach to not judge others at face value. We need to learn to accept people for who they are. I often wonder if my friend and I weren't in the office that day, would that little girl ever have told her mom what actually happened? Were me and my friend her voice? Imagine all the stories that have not been told because of being too scared to tell them. We should not only be the voice for ourselves, but the voice for the unheard. And we need to get louder and louder every time until others finally start listening.
If you can make a list of the top 10 moments of the high school experience, what would you choose?
Homecoming.
Pep rallies.
Ball games.
Spirit Week.
Dances.
School clubs.
Senior pictures.
School concerts.
Graduation.
Prom! Prom, a tale old as time. A high school experience that even our grandparents and great-grandparents remember attending. We see it in movies, and we can't wait for that moment to get our hair done, take pictures, hopefully get an amazing promposal, and of course, find the perfect dress. I've been looking forward to my prom my entire life. I'm not kidding. I've dreamed about it more than I think about my own wedding. When senior year came, I could not wait to look for the perfect dress. Unfortunately, looking for the perfect dress turned to one of the worst experiences of my life. Remember in the movie Pretty Woman, where Julia Roberts gets judged immediately walking to an expensive dress shop? Or in the movie Selena, where Selena is looking for a dress to wear to the Grammys, walks into a fancy store, asks to try on a dress, and the woman working there tells her that she probably couldn't afford it? Yeah, think of that moment, but worse. My parents were very supportive of my passion for prom. They knew how much I talked about it. They saw the collages I made from cut-up magazines trying to get the perfect color scheme. They knew I worked my butt off to save money. And with how hard they saw me work, they actually matched the amount I saved. I wanted a one-of-a-kind dress, something no one else had. So I decided to check out some boutiques downtown. I was by myself because I did not want anyone, not even my best friend, to see my dress. As I peered through the windows of the boutiques, I got super nervous to walk in. So I paced up and down the block a little, probably about 3 or 4 times, until I finally took a deep breath in and walked into the first boutique with the best looking dresses in the window. I walk in. I get no greeting, just a look from the woman working at the store. This was not a friendly look. It was like a glance and then a fake smile. As soon as the fake smile and glance faded from the woman's face working at the store, she walked away from the checkout counter she was standing at, grabbed a phone, and headed to the back. Thinking nothing of it at first, I proceeded to look at the dresses. Mind you, there are several other customers in the store, most, if not all, my age. It is prom season after all. These dresses were beautiful. They were the exact price I was looking for, and I could not wait to try them on. I found about 3 dresses with the perfect combination of colors, and as I was walking towards the dressing room, I hear the little ding of the bells, and I do what anyone else would do, and my neck turns to see who is entering. It is not one, but 2 police officers. Thinking nothing of it at first, I proceed to place my hand dressing room door handle when I hear,
Excuse me.
I honestly didn't think he was talking to me.
Excuse me, young lady, stop right there.
I stop. They were talking to me. The second officer proceeds to walk over and grab my arm. By grab, I mean grab and grip. The dresses fall out of my hand.
Do we have a problem? Did you not hear us calling you?
I'm sorry, officer, but I did not think you were talking to me because I wasn't doing anything wrong. The woman working at the store proceeds to walk over to us, while the other 7 or so customers in the store stop what they're doing and just stare.
Is this the girl you were talking about?
Yes, this is her. She walked past my store about 5 times before she came in suspicious.
Suspicious? Suspicious? How else are you supposed to look when you are looking for something? My heart was in my stomach. I was shaking. I didn't know how to respond. The police officers proceed to tell me that there have been shoplifting issues in the area and that I match a description of a girl caught on camera stealing. They ask for my ID, call my parents, and I literally wait there until my parents arrive.
Do we have a problem here?
What is going on?
Your daughter matches a description of a shoplifter that's been seen around this area. We were just asking questions about her whereabouts a few days ago. The owner of the store says she was seen walking by the store over 4 times, just looking in the windows, all suspicious before she entered.
My dad went off.
Suspicious? What are people supposed to look like when they window shop?
That is exactly what I said in my head when the police officers arrived. I guess I am my father's daughter.
My daughter is 18 years old and shopping for her dream prom dress with the money she earned by working her ass off. She does not need to steal. Why didn't you talk to my daughter before you called the police? Helped her even.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to calm down.
I am calm.
I eventually calmed down my dad. My parents became my alibi for the so-called shoplifter incident because guess what? I was in school when it happened, so there is no way it could have possibly been me. We left the store without a dress, and worse yet, without an apology. I guess for most of my life, I had been blind to a lot of racism because my parents raised me to love everyone, no matter what they looked like. And those were the type of people I surrounded myself with. Yeah, I saw videos in the media of people who look like me getting treated differently, but until that moment in the dress shop, I could not understand the feeling. I was the only Black person in that store. I fit a description. What happens in the movies happened to me. Yeah, and in case you're wondering, I did find the perfect dress. And I looked beautiful because I am beautiful, with every inch of melanin on my skin.
So I'm Native American and Latino. I'm just a mixture with a majority of indigenous blood from the Americas and the rest European blood. But for cultural and social reasons, I don't mention the white part. It's not that I'm embarrassed of it, it's just I've never been treated or seen as white. Anyways, one time me and my younger brother, who both have melanin, and one of my white friends got stopped by the police when we were walking home from school.
Have you kids happened to see a white Toyota Corolla around here recently?
No, but we did see a car driving really fast that way. It wasn't white, but it almost hit us. The cop stopped and examined me and my brother, but paid no attention to my friend who was white. Keep in mind, this is in a good part of San Antonio, Texas, where there wasn't as much crime as there is in the hood.
So why are you all together?
Why does that matter?
Well, I just don't see a resemblance.
The resemblance. What was she trying to say? Where is the confusion? Why does this matter? Weren't you looking for a white car? Of course, this is everything I'm thinking, but instead, to the cop, I only say, what are you talking about? She then proceeded to ask my white friend, Oscar.
Are you okay, son?
Yeah, we're just walking to his house for a project.
The cops kept looking at me and then my little brother and asking us.
So what are in your bags?
I literally looked at Oscar and I looked at my little brother and just gave a quick petty answer that I came up with right then and there. Well, I have books, pencils, a machete. I also have $20,000 in drug money and drugs too. I knew what was going on. They looked at us and one of them said,
Let me see the effing bags.
I gave her my bag, but then they asked for my little brothers too, who didn't even talk the whole time. I think Oscar was starting to catch on to what was going on, and he tried to give his bag too.
No, it's okay. We don't need to see yours.
Oscar pulled away while the cop was looking through our bags. The cop then finished and gave our bags back.
Don't be an effing smartass anymore. Get on now.
After the cops left, I was so pissed I didn't even know what to do. My little brother didn't understand what was going on, but my friend Oscar sure did.
Josh, what just happened? Why were they so rude to us?
It's because they don't like people that look like us.
What do you mean?
They're racist. They saw us as threats. Well, not all of us, not Oscar since he's a part of their race. The realization Oscar had at that moment hit him like a ton of bricks. My little brother just stared at me confused. This was the first time he had ever had to experience something like this. I felt so damn sad because I'm actually lighter than my brother. He's the darker one. I could not help but wonder what would have happened if he was by himself. Like, what if he was by himself at a park playing with a water gun? What if he was by himself and stopped at a corner store for some Skittles? What if he was by himself and he didn't make it home that night? Ever since that situation happened to us, I've used it as a teaching tool, not only for my brother, but to awaken a lot of my friends who don't look like me, to understand that it is not the same for everyone when you meet them for the first time. They see this. They see this before they see this. If only we could wear our hearts on the outside to prove that we all look the same. Maybe if we saw hearts first, we could love first.
As I am sure you know by now, but may not quite understand just yet, being a black man in today's society is like living every day of your life knowing there is a wanted sign for your capture. Prior to contrary belief, there is no button inside the womb that a child presses with their preference of what sex and race they want to come out as. Can you imagine if there was? I often wonder why so many people of my race are shamed for something that was never in our control. No one asked to be born, we just are. In the same instance, we are to use this unchosen blackness to spread love, to fight for our people, and to be proud of who we are with hopes that others that don't look like us can learn to walk for us, walk with us. Instead, we're often faced with ridicule, shame, and constant disgrace over something we just want everyone to see and understand that we are not just a color, we are human. 2020 could write a novel with the situations that the Black race have experienced just in this year alone. My experience would need its own chapter. So I was walking, leading a march, not expecting anything to happen because the vibes in the air made me feel so invincible. The atmosphere was like something from a movie. I felt like I was a part of something that was going to change the world. Looking around and seeing people from different races and backgrounds, I felt whole. I felt like we were really all in this together. I will never forget that feeling. It is embedded in me forever. The group I was walking with started reaching Oakland Avenue. So many people were rooting for us, shouting with us, raising their voices and fists in the air for us. And then all of a sudden, we see a car come around, goes right into the street and blocks the street. I am here leading more than 5,000 people, so we just head to the sidewalk, not knowing that the lady that was in the car blocking the street happened to walk to the sidewalk and block us in a different way. We honestly did not know she was there at first. We instantly start shouting, "I'm black, I'm proud." We are proud. I think black to be, you proud, you black proud. We are proud. I think black to be, you proud. Our anger, our pain, our willingness to not be quiet in the face of those that want nothing to do but shut us up. This woman spits on me. I almost blacked out. Not only did I get spit on by a grown woman, I got spit on by a grown woman during the global pandemic. But guess what? I gathered myself and kept moving with the march. I had to tell my group that we don't give up in the eyes of hate. That woman, who happened to be a lawyer, by the way, eventually got arrested and put on bail for $950. Yes, you heard that right. $950. She was able to go home after being bailed out for spitting on a 17-year-old black male during a pandemic. She didn't know who I was. She never met me. She saw me at face value. She saw me with a group of diverse individuals fighting for equality, and she didn't like it. I can't help but wonder what would have happened if roles were reversed. Yeah, I am beyond blessed. I was able to go home safely that night, but you know who wasn't? George Floyd. And he did a hell of a lot less than spit on somebody. If there is anything about this situation that I learned the most, it is that it is so easy to hate. And unfortunately, hate is so much louder than love. I will continue to use my voice to overpower that hate, no matter how loud it screams. And I will continue to use my voice to say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud.
Being biracial and able to pass has a trauma all of its own. All my life as an adoptee in a white family, my parents tried hard to protect me yet hide my identity. However, white people knew I was different because of my hair or because in the summer my skin tone was like much darker. Yet on the other end, black people knew I was biracial, but not dark enough to fully understand the racism they experienced as a person of a darker skin tone, which even I myself recognized. I remember my dad combing through my hair and saying how it felt like a Brillo pad. And that is just one of many things that has haunted me for my entire life. Because of my upbringing and my experiences in being biracial, I promised myself that I would make sure I gave my son the best life I could. Because not only was he my son, he was my black son, born with a target on his back the minute he came out of the womb. Being the mom of a black son, I share so many similar experiences with parents of black children. Having the uncomfortable conversation with him about how to respond to white people of authority, cops have stopped, etc. Having a constant fear when he leaves the house, will he return to me in person? Or will I see him again in a body bag?
Mom, I'm heading to my friend Ryan's house. I'll be back at 8.
Wait a minute. Don't rush out so quick. How are you getting there? Are you staying at the house? Are you going anywhere else? Who else is going to be there? Who's driving? Felt like I was playing the game 20 questions.
Chill, Mom, chill. Ryan is driving. We plan on playing video games, but we may walk to the gas station. Evan and Ben will be with us as well. Anything else?
Just please make sure you text me when you get there. Text me if you leave. Text me when you get back to your friend's house, and text me when you are heading home. It was the same thing every time my son left the house. It was like a void in my soul that could not be filled back up until I could physically have him in my arms again. Being the mom of a Black son is like having a second job you don't get paid for, and you work plenty of overtime.
Mom, Ryan got pulled over.
My heart fell out of my body. What?
Please stay on the line, Mom. I'm scared. He didn't do anything wrong. The cop has not come to the car yet. We will be fine. We will be fine. We will be fine.
I stayed on that line. I heard my son's breath. I heard my son's breath. This was the only proof I had in that moment of his existence. I held my ear to that phone like my life depended on it. I heard the officer in the background.
Son, do you know why I pulled you over?
No, sir, I don't.
Mind showing me your ID, son?
Don't do it. Don't reach for it. Hands on the wheel. Keep your hands on the wheel. Words cannot describe the feelings that were going through my veins, the prayers I was reciting over and over in my mind. What is he going to do? What is going to happen? I still hear my son's breath.
I'm just asking for permission to reach for my wallet in my pocket.
Go ahead. Thank you. I will be right back.
Thank you. I hear those words, thank you. And then I felt a sigh of relief as my son's breath turned into my son's voice.
Mom, I think we're okay. Everything is okay.
Here's your ID. Make sure you get that taillight fixed.
A taillight. They were pulled over because of a taillight. Funny thing, when they got home, my son said that he stepped out of the car to check the taillight for his friend, and it was working just fine. And I'm not saying the cop was lying because, maybe it was a loose fuse. And I'm not saying the cop didn't have some sort of reason to pull over. And I'm not saying that the cop saw 4 young Black kids in a car in a nicer neighborhood and decided to pull them over for no reason. What I am saying is that my son should not have to call me and have me stay on the line when he is the passenger in a car that is being pulled over by the cops because he is scared. Our Black sons live their lives with a fuse attached to their hearts like a bomb that can be ignited at any time. Not because they are a kid, not because they are hanging out at the basketball court with their friends while it's getting dark outside, but because they are Black. And I'm tired of it. I am tired.
When will our stories be enough to set the trend to end racism?
When will our voices be loud enough to be heard over the screams of never-ending hypocrisies of hate for someone because of their skin color?
When will my actions speak louder than words but not be taken for being an angry Black woman?
When will I be able to use my white privilege for good, not be told that I'm brainwashed by the media?
When will I stop being told to go back to my country or speak English when someone sees me or hears me for the first time because they just don't like it?
When will everyone realize that we need to be in this together to make change? We need to come together as a human race.
If we really take the time to look at how beautiful the country of America actually is, when it doesn't get overshadowed with all the hate it's given, I think we would all have a different perspective on life. America is made up of so many different cultures from around the world. We have more in common than we think we do. And if we really wanted to dig deep, we would find out that we are linked together in so many ways to people who do not look like us on the outside. If we continue to judge people based off of first-time interactions, we will get nowhere. We have to learn to see what we have in common first. We have to see each other as people and not some preconceived image already made up in our mind right when we look at each other's faces.
Our faces are the covers to the novels that are a constant work in progress, a book that will never get finished because our stories will continue to get told even after we pass on. You know the saying, don't judge a book by its cover? Yeah, well, don't judge us at face value, because the value our faces hold is only the first page in the first chapter of the story of our lives. And we promise you, they are all written by best-selling authors.
When you see me for the first time, what goes through your mind? Is it the color of my skin? I'll take you on a spin. When you realize the surprise of who I am on the inside, your assumptions and predictions, conclusions and convictions will be snuffed out by my light. 'Cause my power and my strength, my beauty and my grace will always and forever shine bright.